1863. When Gettysburg was going on and Vicksburg was going on, Wytheville was going on too. The cavalry came in. They were about 40 miles out over the mountain there. Little girl saw them coming. She rode 40 miles on a horse to warn the town. Very little Confederates here, soldiers, and women and children basically only. But they all got rifles and guns, went up inside the middle of town, and when they came in, they got slaughtered. The Union got slaughtered. And later in the newspaper stuff, they quoted one Union cavalry saying, "It's the avenue of death."
Main Street.
They never saw it coming. Death. So they were coming to destroy the lead mines. Without bullets, you don't have much of a fight, and the railroad. So they weren't successful. But in 1865, they came back with everybody and put damage to the lead mines and destroyed the railroad. So, but for 1863.
Where the 1870 part of the mansion, actually this was brick here.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
In 1890, they built on this wing over here and a separate wing on the other side, which we'll get to.
Okay.
So just know as we're crossing through here, we're actually crossing through 20 years.
Okay.
Right here.
All right. Cool.
Oh, wow.
Okay. This originally right here was the dining room of the home.
Wow.
The first owner of the home was Dexter A. Snow. He was a reverend. He actually started the church that's right on the other side of this wall
That's
here,
pretty neat.
which still stands. It's the only place in Wytheville that you can find a photo of Reverend Snow,
Cool.
who was the proprietor of this home.
Okay.
He owned this entire city block, actually, at one point. Of course, greed after the 1900s came. They chopped it all up and sold it off to everyone. It was long gone. But again, this used to be the dining room. They'd have the china and the cabinets there. We've actually, for the museum's purpose, have turned it into a library, an office setting. A lot of very old books in here. A lot of stuff like that. So, if we go this way, this little vestibule right here, which of course this section of the house is under construction still, but used to house the stairs that went to the basement originally.
Okay.
The kitchen was originally in the basement, as a lot of pre-1900 houses had them in the basement. But in the 1950s, they thought it was unhealthy to cook down on dirt floors and stuff like that. They closed it off, moved the kitchen up here. That's why this looks a little bit different than your 1800s kitchen. It's more of the 1950s because that's exactly what it is. And so that is this. It just goes to nowhere.
Okay.
But we'll see it when we get down there,
Yep.
all right?
All right.
Like
Cool.
the Winchester House.
Cool deal.
Stairs
We want to
nowhere.
visit that place.
It's you
The
talking about
original
getting lost.
The original staircase to the house was right here. It used to go upstairs. There's 3 rooms upstairs and a bathroom. We're not sure. We can't find in historical documents when they decided to move it to the other side of the house, but we'll see that when we get over there. But just know that there used to be the staircase. The original staircase was right here. You walk through the front door and go upstairs. And his family's front sitting room. This is where guests would come and visit the Reverend, and they'd have tea and discuss whatever matters they had and things of that nature. So we decided to leave it as so. So this is the front room. A lot of 1800s porcelains, dolls, and stuff behind the couch. They tend to not be behind there sometimes when we come in. They're elsewhere in the house, so we like that. The private family room for the home was in this room. We got a fireplace here, also on the reverse side here. This was the private family room, but we made it the dining room. Changed it up a little bit. This is actually where we hold Dinner with a Ghost in here, which is a paranormal event that we do here and all over the U.S.
I told him I want to try and come to that one time.
Yeah, you guys got to, because it's really incredible. So a lot of activity happens in here, which is why we do it in this room. So tonight on your investigation, definitely poke your head in here a few times.
All
Trust me
right.
on
Cool
that.
deal.
All right.
A lot of cool stuff in here too, like that flag on the ghost table over there. That one was actually used in the Civil War battle. So even though it's controversial right now, it's history, and that's why it's in this museum.
That's awesome.
Which they moved the stairs to the upstairs. Again, we have yet to find out when in time they did that.
Okay.
We're not sure. This was the other wing they built in 1890. It says storage right now because we have a collapsed roof in this part, but just so you can put your eyes on it, there is another whole section over here.
Okay.
Okay.
But
All right.
because we've patched the hole and it's no longer raining in there, but there could be mold, so we just
Okay.
ask people not to go back.
Okay.
For your safety,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So, oh, there's a lot of stuff in this place. Let me really tell you. We'll head upstairs. A lot of stuff was captured in this room from the group from last week and even last night's group. For some reason, they've caught people sneaking around and peeking around corners and checking out what was going on.
Okay.
So even though this is just a pass-through, it's worthy of your time.
Okay.
Okay. The upstairs has not been touched at all, so it doesn't look anything like the downstairs.
Oh.
Which is kind of better. It kind of looks kind of creepier, but over here we have the master bedroom. There's always little things set up for the spirits to play with.
Oh yeah.
This was the master bedroom here. This is where the Reverend and his wife would sleep. He had a study over here, which also housed a little play area for the kids. So for some reason there is activity in these rooms quite a bit. I guess it's because this is where their private time was spent. There is a separate bedroom that the kids actually slept in, but they play here close to mom and dad over here.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. This is a closet. Nothing exciting in there. This is the other bedroom. This is where the kids were, which is why we always have balls and random things in here for them to push in. All of this stuff that you see on the carpet used to not be on the carpet. They've been moved there, and we just let it do its own.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yes.
That's pretty neat.
if you step out off this step here into this room. This was built in 1990. As you can see here, here's the outside of the Octagon. Here's the brick right here. So this is the outside of the original home. In the 1990s, they actually had a lawyer's office downstairs, and they actually turned these rooms up here into apartments. And so to prevent them from having to go through the law office to go to their apartment, they built this porch. It used to be stairs going down and things of that nature. 1990s. So technically we are floating in the air right here
Oh, wow.
on the original ground. So for some reason, a lot of great activity happens in here, even though we are literally off the ground, but the earth is millions of years old. Who knows what's passed in this area or what have you. But we do get activity in here as well. So keep that in mind. This here is a bathroom. Right now it's just a storage for paint supplies. But right now, just wanted to let you know what's behind the door. It is the upstairs bathroom. There is only one functioning bathroom in the house, and I'll show you where that's at.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Yeah, no, there is. It's in the newer part, which we're going to check out right now, the newer part of the house. We're afraid to turn the water pipes on in this house. So,
Yeah.
and this is literally a closet here. And this is literally a bathroom, again, with no water, so we just
Yeah.
turned it into storage. There's, I think, lamps in there or something.
Okay.
We're storing it here. All right, as we cross the threshold here, we are now entering the part of the house that was built in the 1990s.
Okay.
Okay, so keep that in mind. Right here's the corner of the Octagon right here. You can see we've now exited the original domicile. Okay, a lot of historical stuff is back here though. We call this the blue room just because it has blue carpet and blue walls. So if you ever hear me reference the blue room, this is the room I'm talking about. And a lot of things to see in here as well. And also, fun fact, I don't know if you guys know, but in the early 1900s and prior, when you were going to move gravestones, you didn't disturb the body. You just moved the headstones to be remembered elsewhere, but you didn't want to disturb. That is the case here. The Reverend had 8 grave sites on his property out back, in between the church and his home, and this building happens to be sitting on top of it. Because in 1990, nobody thought about it.
Right.
Because they moved them in about 1902 or so, and nobody kept up with records. They
Yeah.
built this building, and I guarantee you that's why we have activity in this
Right.
part of the building. But there is definitely activity in this part of the building. We'll head downstairs next. This is not the basement, but it is downstairs. We'll get to the basement in just a minute. This downstairs is what we consider the paranormal lounge. There's a couch in here to sit on. There's tables. There's things to charge equipment down here.
Okay.
The only bathroom is also right there.
Okay.
So tonight, if you have to use the restroom, it's right there. There's hand sanitizer and everything everywhere you look.
Okay.
We do get activity in here. This was a bakery for about 2 months.
Okay.
Before we acquired the building.
All right.
It was a bakery. I guess it just wasn't too successful. Only lasted 2 months, but we get a lot of things that happen in here, and that's why we put the lounge down here, because while teams are in there, like observing DVR or whatever they're doing, they hear things happening over here, just
Okay.
right on the other side of this door. You
All
know?
right.
So it's pretty good stuff.
Okay.
I'll take you to the basement next, and the final destination. All right, let's head to the basement.
All right.
Everything down here is original. All this wood that's on the floor that you're about to step on is original.
Wow.
And right around the corner here is where that staircase I mentioned to you, the original
That's
one,
what you hear.
to the
I'm watching
kitchen.
I'm watching my step too. I don't want to fall.
Here's the original staircase right here, the
All right.
1870 staircase that came down to the original kitchen.
Okay.
Off to the right here in this room, which be careful if you walk in there, this is where they did the heating of the home in the 1800s. This is where their fire and wood and coal stoves would be to heat the
Okay.
home in here. The actual basement is right here.
Oh yeah, this is where VAPI stuck that void down here in the dark.
Oh yeah. I will give you this piece of information, okay?
Okay.
It is really active in this basement.
Okay.
The kitchen was located on this wall here.
Okay.
In 1890, when the wings were built on, that's when they built the front porch. You used to be able to look out, Mrs. Snow used to be able to look out the windows and just watch Main Street
Wow.
before they built the porch. Now, if you look out those windows, you're under the porch.
Yeah.
You're just looking at porch. But this is also the only place in the Octagon Mansion where you can actually see the entire Octagon frame there. So only one of 13 that exists in the United States right here. So
Wow. That is cool.
a lot of activity. Also, we have suspicions that there might have been a fire here when the kitchen was down here at one point, because we've got some smoke damage, and also it looks like maybe a fire that maybe broke out here because all of the slats are missing and everything right here
Okay.
with all the smoke damage here. A little warning though, sometimes, not always, but sometimes there's a bat in here.
Oh wow.
Okay.
So be aware of that.
Okay.
Not paranormal, but
Yeah.
but pesky, and pesky. He usually, I think he lives under the porch, and sometimes he comes through that little
Okay.
gap there. So just be aware of that. If you hear noises and things, it might be a bat, so don't assume
Yeah.
paranormal. Although I will tell you, this is a very active basement. So.
Okay. All right.
And that's pretty much the whole enchilada, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's neat.
Yeah. The only thing I will also tell you to be aware of, that box right there, which operates all the outdoor lighting, will absolutely trigger any instruments that you're using. There's
Really?
a lot
Okay.
of
Oh,
power coming
yeah,
off of
okay.
that.
All right.
And we can't shut it off even when we
Yeah.
kill the breaker. Like it's on. I don't know if it's on grounded to the actual meter outside. I don't
Okay.
know, but
Yeah.
we can't shut it off.
That's fine.
So just
Yeah.
beware of that in that area.
Okay.
It sucks because that's where the kitchen was, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
the East Tennessee ghost seekers were here last week, and they caught a woman pacing right there,
Really?
an
That was
apparition.
awesome.
So, and they're the first people to report that. So,
That's cool.
yeah.
Did they have a camera set up, or did they actually take a picture?
No,
or
they were
something?
down. I think they were down here sitting in the chair trying to have an EVP session.
Okay, I got you.
And they just witnessed it. And
That
didn't
is
have
cool.
their cameras rolling, but their
seems-
video I think is dropping next week.
All right. That seems like be a recurring theme. I mean, it's hard to catch that stuff, you know.
It is, and you know what? Sometimes I wonder if that's on purpose.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
When we were in Gettysburg, we were over there at like Camp Tiger, that's
Yep.
behind the Farnsburg.
Yep.
And I was getting ready to take a picture, and I saw like a man standing in front of me, and I went to take the picture, and it was like, poof, he disappeared. I was like, where to go?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But
That happens all the time there.
And I was,
You'll sit there thinking you're watching reenactments, and they'll be like, "There's no reenactments today." Whoa, dude, that's
Yeah.
amazing, you know. But wow.
Yep.
yeah.
So
All right.
It's like they want you to know they're there, but they don't want you to catch them on film.
no, they don't. Although you can.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I found to be a great a piece of equipment that captures apparitions like pretty well?
What's that?
You know those cameras that you set out to catch like deer in the
Oh,
woods? or
trail
moving-
cameras? Yeah.
Trap cameras.
Yep. Yep.
Because they don't have a flash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And oh man, we've caught some amazing
That's cool.
apparitions with that thing.